Hi everyone, my name's Miranda, and today we are going to be learning about Andy Warhol. And the book we're reading is called Uncle Andy's Cats, and it's written by James Warhol, and that is actually Andy Warhol's nephew. So this is going to be a book about Uncle Andy's cats. And on this page you can see a little bit of his familiar work. And here we go. Uncle Andy said it all started with the little blue pussycat named Hester. She was just a kitty when I got her from a fabulous movie star named Gloria. Little Hester just loved Uncle Andy's house. It was tall and skinny and perfect for dashing up and down the stairs and hiding up among the antiques. The only time Hester was still was when she was staring at Grandma Bubba's mynah bird, Echo. On our visits to Uncle Andy's, we would look and look, but still could never find little Hester. Little Hester grew and grew and grew and became Big Hester. Uncle Andy and Bubba thought Hester was lonely. That's when they decided to get Sam, and it was love at first sight. Uncle Andy enjoyed Sam and Hester's company when he painted late at night in his studio. And when it was bedtime, the cat's favorite spot was Uncle Andy's wig dresser drawer. On one visit, there were kittens, lots and lots of kittens. Uncle Andy said, "It's so marvelous. Hester is now a mommy." Bubba said, "They all look like their papa, so let's name them each Sam." And the little Sams loved their tall, skinny house too. Look at all those cats. They're running all over the apartment. Holy smoke! The only time we ever saw them all together was when Bubba called for them to feed them their favorite meal, oatmeal and liver. Uncle Andy said that the Sams liked us best when we were sleeping, and I think Uncle Andy did too. We always loved snooping around at Uncle Andy's, and one day we got another surprise. Hester and Sam were a mommy and daddy again. Holy macaroni! The kittens all looked just like their daddy, so they were all named Sam, and that made for a whole lot of Sams. Uncle Andy was sometimes interrupted when a herd of Sams would stampede through his studio, and the neighbors were interrupted when the Sams would sneak up onto the roof. The Sams loved to rumble amongst my uncle's soup boxes, and at the end of a long day, they found that sleeping in Uncle Andy's room was very comfortable. Look at all the cats on the top of the bed, in the bed. It's a lot of cats to have around. Now Bubba and Echo had a little bit too much company. "Andy, there are just too many Sams," Bubba told him. But Uncle Andy didn't know what to do. He brought the 3 Sams home with us. But that didn't work out too well when they wouldn't come down from the roof. Finally, Uncle Andy had a plan. Uncle Andy and Bubba drew and painted most of the most marvelous portraits of Hester and the Sams. After many days of working, the art was finally ready to be sent to the printer. Uncle Andy and Bubba each created a fabulous book. Uncle Andy's was called 25 Cats Named Sam and 1 Blue Pussycat, and Bubba named hers Holy Cats. The books were a huge hit, and the Sams became famous overnight. Everybody wanted a Sam. They came from uptown and downtown to get a Sam. In no time at all, things were just about back to normal, And that made Uncle Andy and Bubba very, very pleased. And it turned out Hester and Sam were just the right amount of cats for their tall, skinny house. And that is the end. So we actually have a copy of the cat book that Andy Warhol made, and it does have a couple of examples of what we are going to be making today. And so here is a blue Sam, a blue cat, and that's kind of what he worked on. He did a lot of simple cat portraits that just were fun colors. So today we are going to be doing something similar. I'm gonna just show you a few more examples. Here's just an outline. Just a simple brown cat. A pink cat. And with that, I'll show you what supplies you'll need from your kit. In your kit, you will find a piece of watercolor paper. It's a white, thicker piece of paper. You will also need your watercolor paints. And then in your crayon bag, you will see one black Crayola crayon, which is this one. You'll need that as well. And that's everything you're gonna need for this project. So for this project, as you can see, I've got all my supplies. I also grabbed a cup of water, as we'll need that with the watercolors. And we're going to just be drawing a cat on this paper. You can draw one cat, you can draw two cats, you could draw three. And it can be any way. Maybe you want him laying down, taking a nap. Maybe you want him sitting or playing. I'm gonna kind of go with this cat here on the cover of the book. It's just sitting sideways, legs out, and I'm probably not gonna add the little details on top, but just a simple cat outline, and then we'll be filling it in with fun colors inside. So to start, I'm just gonna kind of follow along here. Remember, we gotta put his ears in. And he's kind of looking downward. This comes out. And it's okay if they look a little silly. You can see that nothing is going to be exactly the same. Other little front leg here. Do his back leg. And we'll make his tail go around in front of him. And then we'll connect it. So there's kind of our basic cat outline. Then we're gonna add his little eye. Andy Warhol did big cat eye, so we're gonna give him a big eye. We're gonna give him some whiskers for his nose. And then the other thing with these black crayons is you can do little detail marks, so like we might add in some little fur textures here and there, just to give him some. Maybe you wanna add spots. Maybe he's like a leopard cat. Or maybe you want to add stripes because he's a tabby cat. You could do anything you want. All right, so there is our cat. Now you'll take your paintbrush out of here. And if you haven't worked with watercolor, what you need to do is you need to dip your paintbrush in the water and then into the watercolor paint set. Andy Warhol talked about Sam being blue, so we're gonna make ours blue, and maybe we'll add some red in there too, and we'll get some purple splotches once we mix together. So all I'm gonna do is paint blue, and you can always add water and spread that color out. It doesn't have to be anything too detailed. Maybe you want all shades of blue. If you want a lighter color, you just add more water and spread it out. If you want a really dark, rich color, use more paint. For him, I think we're gonna do kind of all shades. Maybe we'll make his face a little bit darker. give him a pop of color for his eye, I think. Alright, so now for mine, once I've got this blue down, I think I'm going to switch and add some red. So now we're going to start adding some red. And then you'll see where I'm meeting that blue line, we're going to actually get some purple in there too. His leg. Any color you pick is going to be absolutely perfect. Maybe you want to do all the colors. That would be pretty cool to have a rainbow cat. And you can also name it whatever you want too. Maybe this one, now that I added red, isn't going to be Sam. Maybe it'll be, I don't know, what's a good cat name? Maybe I'll name this one Luna. So I kind of want some more blending on my color, so I'm just going to add some water and blend it together. Don't forget, after this is all done, it's going to take a little bit to dry because it is wet with the water. Then you can have one of your parents take a picture of it and post it so I can see them too, and we can compare all the cat pictures. All right. Now, I think I want just a little bit more red on his legs. A little more bold. There. And I think for his eye, I'm going to do purple, since we tried to get that purple color in there. And I kind of want it to be a dark purple, so I'm going to try to get most of the water off of here and just get paint. And it's still pretty light, so we might let that dry a little bit and just do another layer, because that'll help too. There. And that is our Andy Warhol inspired cat. Now you can write the name on there if you want, like I'm gonna name her Luna. So I'll write her name on there, and then don't forget to sign the bottom of your piece of art because this is your work. So I'll add my signature to the bottom of mine. And that is going to be complete. Thank you so much for doing this art project with me.